Alright, aka Padders! It's the day of days. We're doing SHADOWHAWK today. What else needs to be said? Join me. Let's sit down at the drawing table and delve into Image's greatest creation. I'm sorry if you're a Spawn fanboy. We owe a lot to SHADOWHAWK. Let's go. And with all of that said, Peter A. DeLuca here, aka Pad69. Say with me, known through Philadelphia, PA, Europe, and the vast multiverse as your eclectic one. Welcome back to the channel, friends and family. Thank all of you for these comments. You guys are beyond generous. I get it. We don't always agree. I try and do my best. And but some of you are angry individuals. I'll just say that. And I'm sorry if I'm not really in my mother's basement, as some of you like to comment. There's no basement here, guys. We're living above the clouds. People, SHADOWHAWK, Jim Valentino, maybe down the memory hole. People forget the path of this character. They forget the impact of this character. And here's the kicker. I haven't read these. Okay? I've just been buying them throughout the years because I wanted, eventually to do it. Jim Valentino, Marvel, Independent, SHADOWHAWK, Deep Dive series. The time hasn't come for that, but along the way, you come across things that you just have to have. And here's the kicker. All of these issues are selected. There's nothing really random in this little baby stack. I want to sit down with you at the drawing table and bring you through a little bit of my thought process and what's really inside of these books and why they're important. We forget a lot about SHADOWHAWK, and it's weird. And even Jim Valentino's publishing for Image, which in my opinion, he saved Image Comics when he became publisher. That's a video for another time, but for right now, hang out with me and let's hit that drawing table. Alright, aka Padders, let me just get into the point I made earlier. And can we just adjust some of these lights? Let's get into the point from earlier. SHADOWHAWK is important because SHADOWHAWK did not have the opportunity to become an animated TV series or a live action movie or something else. We all know of the failed NES video game SHADOWHAWK. I believe there's bootlegs of that people have produced, actual cartridge ones. Very cool. No, SHADOWHAWK's important because it got right there. It got right to the peak of the mountain and really didn't get over the hump. And because of that, there's a generation of comic book fans that remember SHADOWHAWK as they should. Only a comic book. And I know a lot of you will say, but if it became a movie, I would have done this and done that. And look what happened with Spawn and its movie and, and its HBO show. AKA Padders, I understand that. But there is something to preserve when, a lot like ElfQuest, when creations stay within their medium. Now, that doesn't mean they can't have product to support the publishing, and that's a lot of what happened with SHADOWHAWK. We'll see in some of these ads a lot of product to support the books. So here we go, Out of the Shadows, issues 1 through 4. I really do like that a lot of the initial Image characters, creations, and introductions started in a backup story, as here with Youngblood, and great cover, by the way, by Mr. Liefeld, to later bleed into a 4-issue miniseries. I like that a lot. I love the 4-issue miniseries format to test the market, but eventually get into a ongoing. This right here is dedicated to Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld did argue with Todd McFarlane to get Jim Valentino in Image Comics. Todd McFarlane at one point thought that Jim didn't quite cut the mustard to be amongst the Image elite. But the crazy thing is Todd originally wanted to design Image for a artist union. He wanted to unionize everyone. So if that was still his intent, at one point you would think he would just allow everybody, and later they eventually did once they knew what they had. But yeah, we get SHADOWHAWK's first appearance here, extra image, and yeah, SHADOWHAWK jumping from buildings, busting backs. This is what we love. Just the idea that SHADOWHAWK will only punish by snapping your spine is fantastic. And then we get right into the miniseries. Now, what people don't realize and they forget, we have a lot of melodrama. We have a lot of characterization. We have a lot of police work. We have, elite-driven characters. There's a lot to digest with these 4 issues. And as you guys can see, we team up with Savage Dragon in here. Right here, issue 4, Savage Dragon. And I want to say, I kind of forget if we team up with Spawn. If Spawn is in the initial 4 issues. Well, look, here we go. Valentino drawing the dragon. Look at that wild fin. I absolutely love it. But really good with the police drama. SHADOWHAWK is part street level, CSI investigation. And look, I haven't read this. I haven't read this in a while, so I'm not going to. Here he is, Spawn. And there's a reason we have a follow-up to that in here. But yeah, SHADOWHAWK upon inception was transversing across the Image universe. So from that issue of Spawn, we just have to kind of jump on issue 17, because SHADOWHAWK comes back and we have John clearly going embellishing Jim Valentino, and this is maybe Jim Valentino's greatest experiment. It's one of his best looking issues, and this issue alone, and you have to keep in mind, by this point 2 years have gone by. 2 years have gone by, okay? The image has already started to fracture away when it comes to the different studios, the different rights, and a lot of these handshake agreements, as of you can use my character and you can use this, a lot of those were not contracted. They were done quickly during meetings. We do get a little bit of insight on this in observations, but SHADOWHAWK here is used as an avatar, and look at these pages. He's used as an avatar across the entire Image universe. Like, how amazing is that? And we get, this is not only a forgotten Spawn appearance, but this is a definition Spawn appearance, meaning we get a little bit more insight of who Spawn is to a lot of these other characters. Look, we even have the Trencher. Now, the Trencher, Dave Griffin here, right, I want to say Dave Griffin, but we have, we don't have it. But no, Images of SHADOWHAWK, look that up. I'm hoping there's a preview of that in here. But by the end of this issue, okay, we get, look, SHADOWHAWK, the model, and you hear about these a lot on Cartoonist K-Fake, the ripping SHADOWHAWK skateboards, and there's really only one. Cartoonist K-Fake, they mention as if there was like this very huge successful line of SHADOWHAWK skateboards. I believe when they asked Eric or Jim Valentino in their interview, Valentino said he doesn't even like remember them. So, but this is what we're talking about, having product to support the publishing. So at this point, SHADOWHAWK essentially trails off, but he's still used in other Image books, and we get SHADOWHAWK in Bad Rock and Co. Again, amazing company hopping experience here by Rob Liefeld's Extreme Studios. This issue, like, I saw this, I think there's only 7 Bad Rock and companies, but I had to have this one. So from Bad Rock, SHADOWHAWK is used in Brigade. My favorite interpretation of Brigade, because this Brigade team is Glory, Troll, Supreme, SHADOWHAWK, and Trident. They're like the absolute crazy Submariner. Trident is a great character. We have artwork here by Manny Clark, but this is the eulogy issue for the death of SHADOWHAWK. So SHADOWHAWK version 1 dies off. But then we get, and this is where I'm least familiar. We get the new SHADOWHAWK. And now SHADOWHAWK has become a legacy character. Shadow Kill, Hulk Boar, Iron Hulk, Shadow Kid. This idea does not let go of SHADOWHAWK. And SHADOWHAWK, there's might be visions of SHADOWHAWK, but SHADOWHAWK essentially goes the route of Spawn, where we have Trencher here. We have Supreme, Savage Dragon. There's a lot of continuity, a lot of history, years after, basically Image Comics breaking away. So I only have 2 of these. New SHADOWHAWK 1 and 2. I'm not really sure how far this runs. But then we get some of, here we go. We get some of these crossovers, and I'm big on crossovers. And here's the fun part. We have a cover here by Mark Teixeira. We also have Chainswolf Inker. And this is really Valentino's, like when it comes to him having his style worked on just enough. And these backgrounds and Chainswolf highly assisted in these backgrounds. This is a great story, and this kind of bleeds into Vampirella being a vampire, bleeds into SHADOWHAWK. The character had 2 revelations. He turned out to be African American, as detailed in issue 2 of SHADOWHAWK 2, right here, where he reveals himself. But her blood, he did get AIDS. So Valentino was giving us a back-breaking Silver Hulk vigilante, African American, AIDS, and transversing across the Image universe. SHADOWHAWK had everything. But these 2 issues here are, this is one of my favorite 90s, 90s driven crossovers. These 2 issues work together very well. Complete home run. So when it comes to not letting SHADOWHAWK die, this is my only one of, I think this is the newest monthly. And it's like the son of SHADOWHAWK. The lineage, I'm not 100% on. Like I said, guys, we're somewhat doing this blind. Oh man, we get like a lot of talk. Just flipping through this. We don't get the best looking book here. We really don't. But yeah, and then, we get old friends, new enemies popping in. Valentino's been very good with showcasing fan-driven artwork. Now, I want to get into this real quick. I think the back here, the back of R22, yeah, improve your image. SHADOWHAWK products, right, supporting the book. Here we go. We have SHADOWHAWK. Here it is, images of SHADOWHAWK. Keith Griffin, that's the name I couldn't remember. Keith Griffin draws SHADOWHAWK in the Trencher style. Absolutely amazing. So these are all things we're going to be getting to on this channel. A part of my focus, so just so you guys can know, and we'll discuss this, is SHADOWHAWK is highly connected to Rob Liefeld. Because of that, we have Chapel. Chapel is integral in SHADOWHAWK and Spawn. Chapel is, of all the crossover characters, people like to say it's Savage Dragon. Chapel is the one that really added consequences in whatever book he shows up in, which makes him so good. But I wanted to highlight the other creations and ideas that Jim Valentino tried to introduce to the SHADOWHAWK universe and to Image Comics as a whole. So, yeah, guys, a blind flip through, but I just felt like, for, it being Black History Month, I have to say, SHADOWHAWK has more of an arc than Spawn, has more consequences than Spawn, has more original characters and creations than Spawn, and incorporated himself more into the Image universe than Spawn. And even at the time, Savage Dragon. Savage Dragon is a tough pill to swallow nowadays, but not to be discounted. And keep in mind, Valentino took all of this, and when he became publisher of Image Comics, he really did save that company.